Hello, it's Mrs. McCullough again. Today's lesson, we're going to move forward with this idea of readers question and predict. So far in our lessons, we've talked about how you can preview the text before you even get started with the reading of the actual words. We've also talked about how you predict based on all of the details that you've collected. And we've also talked about how you read on to either confirm or adjust your thinking. And remember the song? Can you sing it with me? You ready? Read, read, read the text question while you go. Predict what will happen next. Read on so you'll know. And you'll see we have a big space right here because what we haven't talked about yet is this idea of question while you go. Okay, so that's what we're going to focus on today. Now, readers ask questions while they're reading. Yeah, they think about the information that they've collected and they start to wonder, why is this happening? How does that work? Why did that take place? Okay, so I want to show you that readers ask questions during the reading. Now, if you were going to read a story, what kinds of questions do you ask? Well, you ask a lot of these who, what, where, when, why, and how questions, but it's usually related to the story elements. Like, why did the author choose this setting? Or why did the character act that way? Or how are they going to fix that problem? Or thinking about, what if they would have solved it in a different way? We ask a lot of questions about the story elements, but today I want to focus on how we question a lot of informational text. Oh, we still ask the same things. How long does that take? Or why does that happen? Or what does that mean? But it's all about the new information that we're learning. So I'm going to add this to the chart. And I'm going to add our little character. See how he's like, I wonder what that means. Yeah, that's what we're going to work on today. And the text that I want to use to practice this is actually the text that we used last time when we were learning all about the tundra food webs. So I have it up here. And remember, when we first saw this text, all we were doing was really previewing. Yep, the guy with the mask. We were becoming information thieves, and we were previewing the text to see what we could steal from the text, right? All of the information we could steal before we ever even read the body copy. And when we were doing that, we were actually looking at a lot of the details, remember? So I'm going to turn a couple pages here. I better put my mask on. All right, see if I can get it straight this time. And so we were looking at the pages and we were talking about what we were seeing, pulling out the details, looking at the pictures, looking at the captions, saying things about what we see. We see flowers, wildflowers bloom in the tundra meadow. We see some rivers. Like we were saying all of those details. Those were like the green details, the reading voice details. But you know what, guys? When we were doing the preview, we were wondering even. We started to have some questions. So let me go back to the beginning and let me show you some of the questions that we even had in the preview. When we looked at this page, tundra food webs, thinking about, I kind of know what tundra means. I thought it meant a cold place, but this doesn't look cold. Is tundra a cold place? We're already wondering. When we looked at the table of contents and we got to tundra decomposers, I wonder what decomposers means. Hear the question? We're already questioning even in the preview. Yeah, we had a lot of questions like, I wonder how long it takes to melt this. Yeah, we had many questions. I wonder what a pingo really is. When we looked at the map, I wonder why Antarctica isn't a tundra. Isn't it a cold place like the North Pole? Remember all those questions? Yeah, our thinking voice was already coming up with questions. I wonder how long it takes them to break down. I wonder what a food chain really is. I wonder what an active layer is. Remember all those questions? Yeah, that was just in the preview. We were already wondering. Well, I wrote those questions down and I put them on my chart. My chart, it just says Q&A. Have you ever heard of that before? When somebody has a lot of questions, let's do a little Q&A. Let's do some what's your question? And here's the answer. Well, we were wondering, we just had a lot of questions from the cover, the table of contents, and all the way down through the pages. So I added those. So what we're going to do now with this text is we're going to do the first two parts. We're going to read the text, and we're going to question while you go. Okay? So I'm going to take us back to the beginning. And let's then start to read the text and see if we have any questions. Let's see if we're going to wonder anything, okay? All right. So, the chapter 1, the tundra. The land of the far north is called the tundra. It is a harsh place to live. Most of the tundra is flat. No trees grow there. The air is dry, strong winds blow. Winters are long and cold in the tundra. The snow is frozen. It is covered with snow. Some days, the sun never rises. I'm already wondering something. I'm already wondering, how long does the sun not rise? Oh my goodness, the sun doesn't come up in the morning in the winter? Now it says some days, but I'm wondering, how many days? How long does that sun not come up? I'm going to add my question here. And the other thing that I'm thinking about, I'm really thinking about, did any of my questions already get answered? Well, from the cover, I had wondered, is tundra a cold place? That's what I was wondering. And right here on page 5, it does answer it. It does say it's a harsh place to live. The air is dry. Strong winds blow. Winters are long and cold. The ground is frozen. It's covered with snow. Yes, it is. Winters are cold in the tundra. I was getting an answer. The tundra is a cold place. Okay, so we're going to keep going. We're going to read and see if we have any wonderings, and we're going to see if any of our questions get answered. Ready? The sun sets over the tundra in the winter. What is tundra like during the winter? Well, let's turn the page. Summer. Now we're switching gears and we're talking about summer. Tundra summers are short. They last only a couple of months. During the summer, the sun shines brightly. On some days, the sun never sets. I'm questioning. Why? Why does the sun never set in the summer? What makes that happen? That's so different than where I live. You mean it's always day at midnight, the sun's still up? Why does that happen? Okay, you hear my question words coming up? Why and how long? Why does that happen? How long does that happen? Wondering. That's what we're doing, okay? Now let's keep reading. Each summer, the tundra buzzes with life. Flowers bloom, birds raise their young, insects fill the air. Okay, no real wonderings. It sounds like what I'm used to with summer. Colorful wildflowers bloom in a tundra meadow. All right, let's keep going. Let's see if, we have any questions or if any of our previous questions get answered. Okay, let's see. In the summer, the top layer of soil thaws. That part of the ground is called the active layer. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You guys, do you remember? We had a question about active layer. Yeah, way back on page 12. What is an active layer? Ding, 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 ding. I think one of our questions is getting answered. You hear it? You hear it? That part of the ground. Okay, in the summer, the top layer of soil thaws. That part of the ground is called the active layer. The top layer of soil that thaws. That's what it is. Active layer is a top layer of soil that thaws. We're getting an answer to some of our questions. Okay, we're getting an answer. Let's see. Below the active layer, the ground stays frozen. The frozen layer is called permafrost. Permafrost is very deep. Okay. Melting snow and ice form pools of water on the tundra. Some of the water drains into a nearby river. I'm having a question here on page 7. As I'm looking at the picture and I see all those pools of water, here's my question. Do pools of water ever go away? Do they always have water like that? That's my question. That's a new question that I didn't have in the preview. That's a new question as I'm read the text question while you go. That's my new question, okay? So let's read and see if you can find any places where our questions get answered or if you have any new questions. Ready? Okay, so we're thinking about the passage and seeing if you have any wonderings as I read. Snow, water, and ice. In the summer, the snow melts. Water seeps into the active layer, but water cannot soak into the permafrost. The water has no place to go, so the surface of the tundra stays wet. Marshes and ponds form. Ding, 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 ding. I think we got an answer to our question. Remember on the last page, we said, do pools of water ever go away? What did we find out? Do they go away? No, because it says tundra stays wet. So the surface stays wet. Marshes and ponds form. And so that's what we saw on the last page. All of those wet areas. It always stays like that in the summer. It never dries up. Okay, let's keep going. We've got some more. Let's see if we have any wonderings or if we have any answers to our questions. Each winter, the water freezes again. When water freezes, it expands. Ice pushes in all directions. Ice pushes up round hills called pingos. Pingos. We had a question about pingos. What's a pingo? Right? Is it a little hill? Let's see. Ice pushes up round hills called pingos. Yeah, just like what we saw in the picture. The ice also forms cracks across the land. From above, the tundra looks like a jigsaw puzzle. And so, ding, 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 we had an answer to our question. Now, do you notice how this is on a green sticky note? You know why? Because these are reading voice details that our reading voice picked up. So our thoughts are on the yellow because that's our thinking voice. We're questioning while we go. And then if we find an answer, it's on a green sticky note. Okay, so do we have any new wonderings here? No? And maybe not. You don't have to have a question on every page. As you read on and more of your questions get answered, then you have that satisfaction. You're finding the answers to your questions. It's usually when you're reading something brand new that then, ooh, how? How did that happen? Why did that happen? Okay, let's look at the next page here. Let's look at environment. The tundra is an important environment. An environment is the place where any creature lives. The environment includes the air, soil, and weather. It includes other plants and animals too. Okay, so now, do we have any questions? Well, we actually had a question before. Why why doesn't Antarctica in the map at the South Pole, why doesn't Antarctica at the South Pole have tundra? Did we get an answer to that question? Well, not on this page. We sure didn't. So we don't have any green details to answer that question. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes our wonderings don't get answered. Sometimes they don't get answered when we are asking the question. Sometimes they get answered much later in the book. Sometimes they never get answered at all. And that's when we say, Google it, right? Look it up. Let's see why. We're not going to do that right now. We're going to keep reading, and maybe we'll get an answer to this question from page 9 later on in the text. So do you have any other questions? Did this make you think of anything else? Were you maybe wondering about creatures? It says that an environment is a place where any creature lives. And so there are plants and there are animals. Are you wondering about those creatures? Yeah. Are you wondering maybe what kinds of creatures are in the tundra? Or are you wondering how do lots of plants and animals or creatures survive in the cold? Now that we know it's cold, are you wondering that? How do they survive? Yeah, pay attention to what your thinking voice is saying to you. Let's look at this page. Living things on the tundra depend on one another. Some animals eat plants. Many animals eat other animals. Some creatures feed on plants and animals that have died. When plants and animals die, they break down into chemicals. The chemicals become part of the soil. Some of these chemicals help plants grow. Okay, so now we kind of had a question about how they break down. It tells us they break down into chemicals, but does it really tell us how that happens? I don't think our question is getting answered here, do you? Maybe they'll answer it later on. So it's still a question that we have from page 10. How do they break down? Okay, so let's see. Let's look at page 12. Let's go ahead and look at page 12 because we had a lot of questions here. The tundra has many food chains. Here is one example. A willow plant gets energy from the sun. A lemming eats the leaves and stems of the willow. Then the fox eats the lemming. Later, the fox dies. Tiny living bacteria feed on its body. Tiny living things called bacteria feed on its body. Oh my goodness. Are you having any wonderings? Are you having any questions? What's your thinking voice saying to you? Listen to it. Is it wondering about that bacteria? Tiny living things feed on the fox's body when it dies? Are you wondering, what does that bacteria look like? Are you wondering, can we see that bacteria? Is it invisible? Are you wondering that? Maybe that's a new question that you have. Maybe. Well, you know what? This makes me go back to our previous page. Remember when it said that some creatures feed on plants and animals that have died? When plants and animals die, they break down into chemicals? Did we get our question answered maybe on page 12? When it said tiny living bacteria break it down? Ding, 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 ding. Maybe that's how it happens. Okay, guys, this is what readers do. They question, they wonder as they're reading information. And so if we think about the song, read, read, read the text, that's with your reading voice. Question while you go. Pay attention to those wonderings. Predict what will happen next. Read on so you'll know. And so we had a lot of questions. And when we read on, we got some new information. We got some answers to our questions. So here's your assignment. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to finish reading this book about how the tundra has the food webs. And I want you to listen to your thinking voice and see if you have any questions. Just pay attention to them. If you want to write them down, kind of like what I did, you could. You could write them down on one piece of paper. That's the question side. And then as you read, as you turn pages, whether you read by yourself or you read with an adult, I want you to see if any of your questions get answered. And if they get answered, tell yourself, ding, 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 like what I was doing. There's the answer to one of my questions. You can write them down if you want to, but you know what? Sometimes readers just read and pay attention to what's going on in the head, and they don't get bogged down with the writing quite yet. All right? So write if you want to, or just do this in your head. Listen to your thinking voice. Listen to your wonderings. That's what you would do if you were in Mrs. McCullough's class, but your teacher might have an even better idea.